Hi, I'm Irene with BrainStorm Acres, and this is my business. The name of my business is the Treasury, and we've had a couple of people ask how come we travel all over the United States, and the reason is because we go to events. Now, we've reduced the number of events this year, and it'll be even fewer later next year, but part of my business is being face-to-face with people and helping them with their needs. I specialize in dress accessories, things like buttons and hooks and jewelry for people who do historic reenactment. Now, there's all kinds of historic reenactment out there. The organization I participate with mostly does pre-1600s. I also wholesale to people who do Revolutionary War, Civil War, colonial, that sort of thing. And one of the problems with selling to those people is they really like to meet you. So I have to get out there at least a few times a year and go to events around the US where I can actually be face-to-face with people, find out what they're looking for, and help them with their needs. A lot of what I carry in the shop has been because of requests from individual customers who said, gee, you make this, could you make that? And the answer is usually yes. If people ask for it enough, I will definitely add it to the list of things. This is the pin and sewing accessory area. These are veil pins for literally holding veils onto your head. You either pin through a hat or you pin through your hair. They come in different colors, different types. I do the glass topped ones myself. I do everything here myself, actually. These are different types of hat pins and decorative pins to be put onto hats or to hold the hats in place. This kind here is used classically by the people who do later period things and wear the really big hats, and you stick the pin through your hair, which is all piled up and braided and things, and through the hat brim, and it stays on when you have wind without having to wear a chin strap. I also have dress pins and other types of veil pins. These are all made the way they were made in the 1200s, 1300s, 1400s, 1500s. These pins were used down to Victorian times when they developed some machines that would make them automatically with a flat head, similar to the flat head pins that we have now today. I have buttons. I make glass buttons, and I make metal buttons, and I have all kinds of hooks to hold closed, and bits and pieces and generalized stuff. So this is sort of the do-it-yourself. I need something special for my sewing. Thimble rings, find one that fits me. Most women's hands are smaller than mine are, so not many of the rings actually fit, but they're like a thimble except they're just a ring. I like them better than a thimble because regular thimbles make my fingers sweat. They're more common than thimbles are until late, like 1500s, 1600s. We see more and more full-size thimbles, but this is what we see early. And then there's the fancy stuff, the earrings, the necklaces, the bracelets. These are called pilgrim's badges. When people went on pilgrimages around Europe or the Holy Land, they picked up souvenirs, just like we do. And these are copies of actual ones that were used in the pre-1600s time frame. This is my mini museum. It is actually a collection of real honest-to-God artifacts that I purchased legally online. Most of these came through Great Britain, which has a special process for looking at metal detector finds and other finds and making them available for sale if they're determined to not be of great value to the museums and historians. Rosaries, prayer beads for Islamic personas. You can, in our group, you can choose what part of the world you want to come from, and you can choose who you're going to be. So you choose what you want. You get to choose what you want to be when you grow up, and you get to wear those clothes, and you get to have all the appropriate decor that you would have. So if you're a good medieval Catholic, you would have prayer beads. If you're a good medieval Muslim, you would have prayer beads. They're just different in terms of the number of counts of beads. Anybody who's ever been to a Ren fair has probably seen these type of brooches. These are small ones that are used for closing necklines, but when they get to be this big or this big, you'll see them being used to close cloaks at some of the Ren fairs. They're called a penannular brooch. I make them like I make everything else in here. Some of these pieces are cast, some of these pieces are hammered from metal. These are hammered from metal. And I sell them by the buckets. I just made another dozen of them today, and I need to make the big ones because that part of the tray is empty, which is a good thing. It means I sold them. These are decorative necklaces appropriate for Renaissance time frame. Now we're earlier. This is Slavic and Viking. Hooks to hold the wraps on your lower legs to keep you warm. Decorative bits to hang from yourself. This was a big project I did 2 years ago in the wintertime. I went online to the Swedish Historic Museum and found out that they had 6 Valkyrie pendants, and I got pictures of them from the museum. I made them as big as my computer would allow me to print them, and then I carved them the right size. And when you make them the right size, this is how big they are. Whoops, they're hard to hold. Ah, there we go. If I can grab one. This is how big they are. And they're worn as decorative bits on your clothes. So I made all 6 of them, and I sell them in bronze and in silver. And that's what I do. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button and see what we're up to next. And we'll talk to you later. Bye.